gentlemen, and welcome to Gilcone Field. And a very pleasant good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Gilcone Field on the campus of Brevard College. Game 3 of a 3-game series between the Washington and Lee Generals and the host, the Brevard College Tornadoes. Had a lot of excitement in these first 2 games of this series, and it'll, by all indications, continue here, Game 3 of the series. Game was originally set for a 3 p.m. start, bumped up to a noon start to avoid some potential weather later today. It's currently 54 degrees, cloudy here at Gilcone Field, and should be a good one as the Tornadoes will send to the mound Cale Ayler. He'll be the starting pitcher. Also will be hitting in the lineup for the Tornadoes. And on the mound for the Generals, John Benner. So we'll tell you even more, get you the starting lineups in just a matter of moments. But glad you're able to join us wherever you may be tuning in from. Gilcone Field on the campus of Brevard College. Washington and Lee versus Brevard coming up shortly. Final field preparations taking place here at Gilcone Field as we approach the start of Game 3 of this series between the Tornadoes and the Generals. Washington and Lee making the trip here to the mountains of western North Carolina from the state of Virginia. Tornadoes trying to continue a hot start to the 2022 season, 6-1 thus far, and trying to keep that going. These last two games have been absolute thrillers. We'll recap them throughout the broadcast, but the Tornadoes an 11-10 win on Saturday. That was after the Tornadoes had led that game 10-2 at one point. And then kind of a Groundhog Day type feel, similar situation Sunday, and another thriller. This one, the Tornadoes won in walk-off fashion, an 8-7 win as Jason Jucker with the game-winning single. Game 3 of the series set for a noon first pitch. Trying to beat some potential weather late in the day. This game was originally scheduled for a 3 p.m. start here on President's Day, but looking to make sure they got this in successfully before any weather came in here to the mountains. So thus the noon scheduled first pitch. Tornado starting lineup. The leadoff hitter, once again, Zach Allison, the right fielder. Second baseman is Blake Burchett. Shortstop is Jason Jucker. In left field, Logan Clark. The pitcher, and also hitting in the DH spot, Cale Ayler. Batting sixth, Kenny Pridmore. Batting seventh, Luke Morton. Batting eighth, the catcher, Brett Burchett. Batting ninth, the center fielder, Jack Atkinson. Washington Lee, third baseman Luke Erdmann will lead off. Left fielder is Zach Perkins. He bats second. Chapin Bassey, the DH, bats third. Brian Whitman, the first baseman, bats fourth. Jaden Kaner, the catcher, bats fifth. Batting sixth is the shortstop, Ethan Zueta. Batting seventh, Zack Sanders, the second baseman. Batting eighth, the right fielder, Mike Carpenter. And batting ninth, the center fielder, John Raymond. Tornadoes under the direction of head coach Mike Victory, assisted by Rob Julian, Steve Huckey, and Jacob Dennis. Head coach of Washington Lee is Ted White. He's assisted by Brandon Cohen. So that sets the scene for you here at Gilcone Field as the Tornadoes looking for a series sweep. Washington Lee looking to avoid falling to 500. Washington Lee 3-2 entering this one. The Tornadoes 6-1. Coaches meeting at home plate for the lineup exchange and review of ground rules here at Gilcone Field, and we'll have baseball action for you shortly. Thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. Generals and Tornadoes coming up soon. So ready to rock and roll here at Gilcone Field. Game 3 of this 3-game series that began on Saturday. It's been a wild one. The two teams have combined for a 19-17 score. Both one-run victories for the Tornadoes, and looking for a series sweep this afternoon. And making his first pitching appearance as a collegiate pitcher, Cale Ayler. Ayler will also bat throughout this contest in the 5-hole as the designated hitter. Ayler, the freshman left-hander from Charlotte, North Carolina, Cox Mill High School. And his first assignment will be Luke Erdmann as the Generals line up Erdmann, Perkins, Bassey, Whitman, Kaner, Zueta, Sanders, Carpenter, and Raymond. Tornadoes defensively, the infield as follows: Morton, Jucker, Blake Burchett, and Kenny Pridmore at first. Catchers Brett Burchett, left to right in the outfield, Logan Clark, Jack Atkinson, and Zach Allison. So glad you're able to join us. Should be a good one. And ready to get things started here at Gilcone Field, Game 3 of the series. Leading off for the Generals, the third baseman, number 30, Luke Erdmann. So Erdmann will lead off for the Generals. With Ayler on the mound. First pitch from Ayler called strike, and first pitch at exactly 12 noon. So high noon here at Gilcone Field, and we are underway with Game 3 of this series. And first pitch located well. Strike one from Cale Ayler. Second pitch just missing there, so 1-1 the count. Tornadoes in their blue jerseys, gray pants, gray hats with the black bill. Good look for the Tornadoes on this President's Day matinee. Fouled off there. 1-2 the count. Erdmann, Perkins, and Bassey, the due-ups here. Inning number 1. Not quite as windy as what we confronted yesterday. Wind currently blowing from right to left. So that pitch just misses. 2-2 the count. And the pitch from the lefty Ayler. This is popped up, foul territory, and a diving attempt. Unable to make the play is Kenny Pridmore. Pridmore got the start at first base today. This is Pridmore's first game as a collegiate baseball player, so welcome aboard, Pridmore. Check that, actually first game this season, the junior from Hendersonville. So 2-2 the count. And Kenny Pridmore getting that start at first base. Right side of the infield, Pridmore and Blake Burchett. Burchett had a busy day yesterday. This is driven, well struck, deep to center, and this will fall in between Clark and Atkinson. And it's going to be a triple to lead things off for Erdmann, as that was blasted to left center field. And just like that, man on third for the Generals. Now batting left fielder number 4, Zach Perkins. So that'll bring up Zach Perkins, as now Ayler has to contend. Runner at third, no outs. First pitch swinging is Perkins, and this is fouled away. You could see the speed of the leadoff hitter, Erdmann, going for 3 there, and the head-first slide. Certainly plenty of dirt on that white jersey. The leadoff hitter, Erdmann. This is now blasted into right field and off the fence. That's going to score Erdmann. It's going to be a double. So a triple and a double to lead things off. The double by Perkins scoring Erdmann. And 1-0 now. Generals with the early advantage. Now batting the DH, number 12, Chapin Bassi. So that'll bring up Bassi. So no outs, runner on second. And a bit of a reversal of how things went in the first 2 games, where both game 1 and 2 of the series, the Tornadoes took sizable leads. This time, a different story here, top of the first. Generals ahead 1-0, and already some loosening going on in the Tornadoes bullpen. We'll keep an eye on that. So no outs, a 1-0 count. And at the plate, Bassi. A look back to second just to keep Perkins honest. Erdmann with the leadoff triple. Perkins with the RBI double. 1-0 Generals. And now a balk has been called. So now a runner on third, still no outs. And a troublesome situation continues here for the Tornadoes, top of inning number 1. So a balk has been called, and after the balk issue, runner now on third, which is Perkins. And the pitch, grounded to short. Quick hop there, handled by Jucker. That's going to score a run. Tornadoes, they're able to make the first out, but 2-0 now the score. Generals on top. Now batting the first baseman, number 13, Brian Whitman. So that'll bring up Whitman, the first baseman, batting in the 4 hole, the cleanup hitter for the Generals. Senior from White House Station, New Jersey. And Ayler will go to work against him. That is grounded sharply down the left field line, but foul. So Cale Ayler able to get that first out. However, Generals able to score 2 runs quickly here. Some loosening in the Tornado bullpen. And the pitch. Outside, 1-1 the count. Brett Burchett, the catcher for the Tornadoes. Pitch there, called strike. A little more serene today on the Monday afternoon. The drum line was here yesterday and creating a lot of excitement for NATO Nation all the way through that walk-off game-winning single by Jason Jucker that scored Jock Pledger, and NATO Nation went bananas with that one as the Tornadoes took a 2-0 lead in the series. Fouled off there, so at-bat continues between Whitman and Ayler. Jaden Kaner awaits on deck for the Generals. 2-0 Generals with the early advantage. Pitch there, swing and a miss, strikeout. Cale Ayler able to retire the cleanup hitter for the Generals. Now batting the catcher, number 10, Jaden Kaner. So that'll bring up Kaner with 2 down. So Ayler starting to settle in here after Generals scored 2 runs by virtue of a triple and a double to start this game. First pitch there, a strike. And with 2 outs, nobody on, here's the pitch. outside, ball one. Cloudy skies. We're anticipating some precipitation, probably not till close to sunset. But that being said, wanted to ensure this game got in, thus the earlier start time than originally advertised. Fouled back there. 1-2 the count. Ayler gets his signal from Burchett. Deals. Swing and a miss there. Ayler with back-to-back strikeouts. And the Tornadoes able to head towards the bottom of the first. However, the Generals strike first. Your score, middle of inning number 1, game 3 of this series. Washington and Lee 2, Brevard 0. So Tornadoes with their first at-bats on this Monday, game 3 of the series. Hope you're enjoying your President's Day wherever you may be tuning in from. Barbecues perhaps cranking up around lunchtime wherever you may be. 0-1 the count to Zach Allison. Pitch there. 0-2, so immediately ahead. John Benner, the freshman from McLean, Virginia, St. Albans High School. In first order of business for him is Zach Allison. And called strike there, so 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and Allison's retired. Now batting for your Tornadoes, the second baseman, number 6, Blake Burchett. So that'll bring up Blake Burchett, the second baseman for the Tornadoes. He has been red hot throughout this series. Now, worth mentioning, Blake and Brett Burchett, cousins. So the two cousins getting it done for the Tornadoes, both in the starting lineup today. Meanwhile, it's been 4 straight strikes thrown by Benner, and for the first time he misses the plate there, ball 1. 1-1 the count after the strikeout to Allison. Here's Blake Burchett. Jason Jucker awaits on deck. If the inning continues, Logan Clark in the hole. The 1-1, the pitch. Fouled away, 1-2. One down here, bottom of inning number 1. Washington Lee with 2 runs in the top of the inning. Well, great to see members of the campus community making their way over here to Gilcone Field during their lunch hour. And the pitch. In the dirt, 2-2. Washington and Lee making the trip from Virginia. 3-game series across 3 days on this President's Day weekend. And the 2-2. This is driven to center field, and it's going to be played there successfully. John Raymond with the catch, out number 2. Now batting for your Tornadoes, the shortstop, number 2, Jason Jucker. So that'll bring up Jason Jucker, shortstop for the Nados. One of the heroes of yesterday's win with the walk-off single that scored Jock Pledger from third base and ignited Nado Nation. Place was going bananas with that one. Great view from the dugout social media post you can check out at BC Tornadoes and see that reaction from the Tornadoes. But both of the first 2 games of this series, just wild affairs. Both 1-run results, 11-10 on Saturday, 8-7 on Sunday. Pitch there, missing. 3-0 the count. 2 down after a strikeout and a fly ball to center. And the 3-0. Cross the plate, strike 1. Steve Huckey is the third base coach for the Tornadoes. Rob Julian patrolling matters at the first base location. This is well struck, driven to center field. However, Raymond able to make a second put out there from the 8 spot. And just like that, 1, 2, 3 down go to the Tornadoes. We'll head to the top of the second with your score. Washington and Lee 2, Brevard 0. So a defensive substitution for the Tornadoes as Ryan Lehman is now playing center field. He replaces Jack Atkinson. Meanwhile, second inning of work for Cale Ayler. And Ayler's first assignment, Ethan Zueta, the shortstop, batting in the 6 hole. This is driven to left field, and it looks like it's going to be extra bases for Zueta. That's a double, third extra base hit thus far for the Generals. And runner at second for Ayler and the Tornado defense to deal with. Now batting the second baseman, number 14, Zack Sanders. So that'll bring up Sanders. Runner at second, no outs. Cale Ayler going back to work here, runner at second. Dropping the bunt there. And then an error is going to bring a run home. And runner holds then at second. So it's going to be 3-0 Generals. It's a tough break there for the Tornadoes defensively. And just like that, 3-0 now your score. I'm going to bring up Carpenter. Now batting the right fielder, number 17, Mike Carpenter. So 3-0 WNL now on top of the Tornadoes. And runner at second. And Cale Ayler will go back to work, now having to deal with Carpenter, the 8-hole hitter. And the pitch. Carpenter first pitch swinging, and this is fouled back, out of play, 0-1. So Sanders had laid down the bunt, and wasn't the best of bunts either. Luke Morton picked it up on third base. And error on the play results in run coming across the plate, and runner now on second for the Generals. 3-0 your score. The pitch. This is driven to right field, and runner holds. That'll bring up John Raymond as Allison able to make that play in right. Now batting the center fielder, number 16, John Raymond. So John Raymond batting from the right side. And Cale Ayler, the left-handed pitcher for the Tornadoes. With one out here, top of inning number 2, the pitch. In the dirt, gets away from Burchett, and runner at third. So it seems like every break going the Generals' way. They're been hitting the ball well, a couple extra base hits, but also getting some of these miscues to go into their advantage as well. So 1-0 the count now with the runner at third. Pitch there. 2-0 the count. Looks like a right-hander is up in the Tornadoes bullpen. We'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, 2-0 the count and the pitch. Driven here to deep left center field, and that's going to easily score another run. Retreating back to first after rounding the first in a big way is Raymond, and the Washington Lee faithful getting loud after that one, adding another run. Now batting third baseman number 30, Luke Erdmann. So a 4-0 advantage now, runner at first. Ayler will go back to work here with the runner on first. This is driven to right field. Allison camping under it. There's out number 2. Runner holds at first. So with 2 outs now, that'll bring up Zach Perkins. Now batting left fielder number 4, Zach Perkins. So Perkins comes to the plate. And Ayler trying to get out of this inning. 4-0 early advantage for the Generals. First time around, Perkins had that RBI double to open the scoring. He hit that to center and was able to bring home Erdmann, the leadoff hitter. Hit by pitch there, so runners first and second. Now batting the DH, number 12, Chapin Bassi. So Bassi will come to the plate. Runners first and second after the hit by pitch. And Cale Ayler will go to work. Pitch there, off the plate. Actually get in the outside part of the plate, 0-1. Bassi had a RBI ground out first time around. That gave the Generals a 2-0 lead. Then the Tornadoes giving up 2 runs this inning. Fielder's choice goes 4-6, and that'll end the inning. And we'll head to the bottom half of inning number 2 as the Generals able to double their lead. Now ahead 4-0, middle of inning number 2. Glad you're able to join us. Gilcone Field on the campus of Brevard College. So leading off for the Tornadoes will be Logan Clark, USA South Conference Rookie of the Year last season. Explosive, exciting player out of St. Petersburg, Florida. Grounder here to short, and 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of the second. That'll bring up Cale Ayler. Now batting for your Tornadoes, the pitcher and designated hitter number 26, Cale Ayler. So Ayler will get his first chance at the plate now. Don't see this too often from the Tornadoes lineup where the pitcher is also the DH, but situation today, Ayler with a valuable bat. He's in the 5 hole. First pitch there, off the plate. Ball 1. Kenny Pridmore awaits on deck. And the pitch. Called strike 2. Check that, 1-1 the count. Wind now blowing in from center. And the pitch. Swing and a miss there, strike 2. And the pitch. Grounded foul towards the Washington and Lee dugout. Washington and Lee's camped out on the first base dugout. Tornadoes in their home dugout location along the third base side. And the pitch. This is well struck to left field, and that's going to be the first base hit of the day for the Tornadoes. Line drive single to left by Ayler. Now batting for your Tornadoes, the first baseman, number 44, Kenny Pridmore. So Kenny Pridmore with his first at-bat of the season. Where's number 44? First pitch there, a strike to Pridmore. Pridmore, the junior from nearby Hendersonville, East Henderson High School. And the pitch, fouled away there, 0-2. So Benner able to get ahead of Pridmore. On deck for the Tornadoes, Luke Morton. And the pitch, off the plate, 1-2. One ball, two strike, one out. Runner at first. The pitch. This is driven to center field. Back-to-back base hits for the Tornadoes. Runner being sent to third. And first hit in a Tornado uniform for Kenny Pridmore. Congratulations, Kenny. I'll bring up Luke Morton. Now batting for your Tornadoes, third baseman, number 3, Luke Morton. So Tornadoes in business here in the bottom of the second. One out, runners first and second. After the back-to-back hits by Ayler and Pridmore, one out here. And certainly the toughest situation John Benner has faced so far. Pitch there, across the plate, strike one. And the pitch. Called strike. So 0-2 the count to Luke Morton. Morton, the freshman from Wake Forest, North Carolina, Heritage High School. Swing and a miss there. And Benner able to make the strikeout at completion there. Going to bring up Brett Burchett. Now batting for your Tornadoes, the catcher, number 14, Brett Burchett. So Burchett steps to the plate. Now 2 outs. So base hit at a premium here. And Burchett will go to work versus Benner. The pitch from Benner. Outside, ball one. Burchett hitting in the 8-hole. Ryan Lehman on deck. Runners first and third. And the pitch. Across the plate. 1-1 the count. So Burchett. Seeing if he can get these runs home. Big cut there. 1-2 now the count. Tornadoes and Generals facing off for a third time this weekend. Feel like the teams know each other pretty well by this juncture. And the 1-2. Outside 2-2. Brett Burchett, the senior from Mooresville, North Carolina, Mooresville High School. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss there. Ball's in the dirt, so needs to complete the transaction. A little bit of an adventure there at first base, but strikeout 2-3 on the putout, and Tornadoes 2 runners stranded. So we will head to the top of the third. Your score, Washington and Lee 4, Brevard College 0. So new pitcher for the Tornadoes. So Whitman will lead off for the Generals. Four runs on 4 hits, no errors for Washington Lee. And first pitch swinging there, and that's foul. And diving play there over at third base by Luke Morton, and a little slow to get up. Did a push-up for good measure. And now back up and running there in the hot corner, Luke Morton. So Bryce Bowers, second pitcher of the day. Cale Ayler, the starting pitcher, will continue to perform in this game. He's also the DH today, as this is driven to center and base runner aboard for Washington Lee. Single there by Whitman. Now batting the catcher number 10, Jaden Kaner. So that'll bring up Kaner. He's played all 3 games this series. And Bryce Bowers will go to work against him. Batting from the right side. Runner at first. That's Whitman. And the pitch. Good looking pitch there. Across the plate. Strike 1. And the 0-1. Driven to left field. That's going to be a base hit. And runners first and second for the Generals. Back-to-back singles to lead off this top of the third. Now batting the shortstop, number 7, Ethan Zueta. So that'll bring up Ethan Zueta, who's the starting shortstop for the Generals. A North Carolina native out of Matthews, North Carolina, Weddington High School. Runners first and second. Bowers taking a look at that lead runner at second. Now, nice looking pitch there for strike one. Runners first and second, 4-0 Washington Lee on top. And that'll be a sacrifice bunt to move the runners to second and third. And one out. Now batting the second baseman, number 14, Zack Sanders. So that'll bring up Sanders, second baseman for the Generals, hitting in the 7 hole. Runners second and third. One down, top of inning number 3. And the pitch. Outside, ball 1. And the pitch. Off the plate, ball 2. Well, the Tornadoes will be back in action on the road at Greensboro this weekend. 3-game series begins Saturday. And the 2-0. Swing and a miss there, 2-1. So if you're over in the Greensboro area, want to head over to, it's actually located in High Point, North Carolina, Greensboro College. Check out the Tornadoes. Doubleheader on Saturday starts at 2 p.m. And then a 1 p.m. start on Sunday the 27th at Greensboro. Fouled off there, 2-2. .40 advantage for Washington Lee. And the pitch. This is blooped, a soft line drive to third, and then misplayed there. And a run's going to score in the process. A strange play there results in another run. Now batting the right fielder, number 17, Mike Carpenter. That'll bring up Carpenter. So seems like every break going the Generals' way. Tornadoes had a 5-0 advantage yesterday. Today, reversal of fortune, as Washington Lee now with a 5-0 early lead. Wind blowing in from center. 400 the dimensions in center field. Pitch there, across the plate, strike. 335 down the left field line, also 335 in right, so very symmetrical layout here at Gilcone Field. The gaps at 375. That pitch gets away from Burchett after finding the dirt, and another run will score, and Washington Lee now ahead 6-0. So now runner on third. Still just one out. Washington Lee has now scored 2 runs in each of the first 3 innings. 6-0, Generals on top. And the 1-2. Grounder to second. Blake Burchett handles that. Another run will score in the process. So RBI ground out and a 7-0 lead. And now 2 outs. Now batting 16, John Raymond. First pitch swingings, Raymond, he pops this up. And Lehman able to make the play from his center field position for out number 3, but General's able to do some more damage. 3 runs on the top of the third. Your score, middle of inning number 3, Washington and Lee 7, Brevard 0. So Ryan Lehman will lead things off for the Tornadoes. Bottom of inning number 3, Tornadoes have a lot of work to do, down 7-0. That pitch off the plate. John Benner, the freshman from McLean, Virginia, continuing his starting outing for the Generals. Thus far, he's allowed 2 base hits, no runs. Ryan Lehman was inserted into the game at center field, 9-hole hitter, replacing Jack Atkinson. Zach Allison, leadoff hitter, awaits on deck. Pitch there, across the plate, strike 1. 2-1 the count to Lehman. Ryan Lehman, freshman from Cooper City, Florida, Cooper City High School. Southern part of Brevard County, just outside to the north of Miami, to the south of Fort Lauderdale. And the 2-2. Cross the plate there, strike 3. Good-looking pitch there from Benner. Now batting for your Tornadoes, right field number 4, Zach Allison. So Zach Allison will step to the plate, the right fielder, number 4. Top of the order we go. Blake Burchett awaits on deck. And the pitch. High. 1-1 the count. Now a 1-2 count after Allison fouls that off. Grounder to short and able to make out number 2 there. Now batting for your Tornadoes, the second baseman, number 6, Blake Burchett. So that'll bring up Blake Burchett. And the pitch. Fouled away. And falling fair, that ball traveled a long way and somehow was able to hug that right field line, and a triple for Blake Burchett. That's a Tornado triple for Blake Burchett. Now batting for your Tornadoes, the shortstop, number 2, Jason Jucker. So Jason Jucker will step to the plate after Burchett blasted that down the right field line and able to come up with the triple. One of the hotter hitting NATOs as of late. This is driven to center field, but able to make out number 3, strand the runners, John Raymond in center, and Benner able to get out of the jam. We'll head to the top of the 4th. Generals 7, Tornado 0. So back to the top of the order we go. Erdmann, Perkins, Bassey for the Generals. And Bryce Bowers continuing his relief appearance. And the pitch. Across the plate there. Sharply hit ground ball up the middle, so that'll be a base hit for Erdmann. Runner aboard here in the top of the fourth. Now batting left fielder number 4, Zach Perkins. And pitch there and a hit by pitch, so runners first and second. And that'll bring up Bassie. Now batting the DH number 12, Chapin Bassie. Runners first and second. Pitch there, off the plate, low. Well, it's been a compelling series between these two. Wild affair in game 1 of the series back on Saturday. You wanted to make sure you had your pencil sharpened for that one. Meanwhile, sacrifice bunt there moves the runners over to second and third with 1 out. Now batting the first baseman, number 13, Brian Whitman. That'll bring up Whitman. Tornadoes won Saturday's game 11-10. The Tornadoes led that game 10-2 entering the 8th inning. 8 runs in the 8th inning by the Generals. Tied the game up at 10. Then in the bottom of the 8th, a hit by pitch for Zach Allison. Blake Burchett moved him over on a single. Then another wild pitch brought Allison home, and the 11-10 victory for the Tornadoes. A combined 21 runs and 19 hits in that one. Meanwhile, sharply hit ground ball up the right side of the infield. 2 runs will score, and the Generals continue their onslaught here. Now batting number 10, Jaden Kaner. That'll bring up Kaner. (9-0) now the score. Washington Lee atop the NATOs. They've scored in every inning thus far. Meanwhile, more action getting going in the Tornadoes bullpen. Starting to see some sense of urgency out there in the bullpen, getting guys up. Runner at first, the pitch. Across the plate there. Good looking pitch from Bowers. So after the wild 11-10 contest, the two teams met again Sunday. This one was wild in its own right. 8-7 Tornadoes winning this one on Saturday. Pitch there, some up near the helmet, and a check swing blasted foul. Might have just been protecting himself, and bat hits ball. And meanwhile, Jason Jucker with the infield single, the score Jock Pledger. A wild one on Sunday, which brings us to today, as this is blasted to the wall in left field, and that's a double for the Generals. So Jaden Kaner with the double. Now batting the shortstop, number 7, Ethan Zueta. That'll bring up Zueta. So 9-0 now, Washington Lee on top. So after what's happened this weekend, I mean, certainly anything's possible, but a tough start to this one, game number 3, from the Tornadoes' perspective. Runners second and third. Zueta steps to the plate. Zueta 1 for 1 on the day. Doubled back in the second inning. He ripped that one down the left field line. Meanwhile, pitch there off the mark. Nine runs on 10 hits for the Generals. The pitch off the plate there. On deck is Zack Sanders for the Generals. 3-1 the count with 1 out. And the pitch. Missing there, so a walk has been issued, and bases are now loaded for the Generals. Now batting the second baseman, number 14, Zack Sanders. So Sanders will step to the plate. Sanders has already scored 2 runs in this one. Grounder here, and tough play for the left side of the infield for the Tornadoes. A run scores double digits now for Washington and Lee, 10-0. Now batting right fielder number 17, Mike Carpenter. So that'll bring up Carpenter. And the pitch. First pitch swinging is Carpenter, and Layman able to track it down, but that's going to be a sacrifice fly RBI. 11-0 Washington and Lee. 2 outs now. Now batting number 16, John Raymond. So that'll bring up John Raymond. Center fielder. He's 1 for 2 on the day. One-0 the count. 2 outs. An 11-0 advantage for Washington Lee. That ball gets away from Burchett, and runners advance to second and third. Wild pitch is the ruling from the official scorer. Ball's fouled off there. 2-1 the count, 2 outs. Well, glad you're able to join us wherever we may be tuned in from. Hope you're enjoying your President's Day weekend. Tough one here for the Tornadoes, down 11-0 after winning the first 2 games of this series. Pitch there, blocked by Burchett, so runners hold. 2 outs here. Top of the 4th inning. 11 runs on 11 hits. There's been 2 Tornado errors. Tornadoes have managed 3 hits, still yet to score a run. The pitch, sharply hit line drive, handled by Jason Jucker for out number 3. So we will head to the bottom of the 4th. Your score, Washington and Lee 11, Brevard 0. So Tornadoes, we'll see if they can get something going here on the offensive end as Logan Clark steps to the plate. Ball 1. And the pitch. Called strike there, so 1-1 the count to Clark. So Clark, Ayler, and Pridmore due up here. The bottom of the 4th. Tornadoes have a long road ahead if they plan to come back in this one. Trailing 11-0. But after some of the crazy stuff we've seen so far this series, anything's possible. Wilder things have happened in the world of college baseball. 2-1 the count. The pitch. Fouled off there. 2-2. Ayler on deck. Pridmore in the hole. Tornadoes in new uniforms debuting this 2022 season. Good look for the Tornadoes. The gray pants, the blue jerseys, black trim, black numerals. And a real hit have been these new black or gray hats with the black bill and the black tornado graphic. Pitch there off the plate. Full count. Three-two the count. And the pitch. Ball 4. So runner on board here. Bottom of inning number 4. That's Logan Clark. And that'll bring up Ayler. Now batting for your Tornadoes, the designated hitter, number 26, Cale Ayler. So Cale Ayler stepping to the plate. Ayler started this game at pitcher and remains in the game as the designated hitter, hitting from the left side. Runner at first now, Logan Clark. First pitch, ball 1. John Benner continuing his starting outing for the Generals. Benner has gone 3 innings so far, no runs, 3 hits, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. And see if the Tornadoes can crack through and crack the riddle, which is known as John Benner. See if they can get something going here in the bottom of the 4th. Stolen base, runner going, and Clark in there easily as that throw went high. So 1-2 the count. Runner at second. And the pitch. Grounder to second. Ayler and the ruling is out on the play, 4-3. Head coach Mike Victory not happy with that decision by the umpire. Meanwhile, still standing on first is Ayler. He's going to hold his ground there until this is all figured out. Conference between the 2 umpires. The first baseman jumped up high to gather that assist. And now some discussion, and looks like an ejection. Ejected from the game is the coach of the Tornadoes, head coach Mike Victory. Not happy about that call, obviously. And Ayler will head back to the dugout. 1 out. And an unfortunate situation there as there's some shifting in terms of the coaching situation now. To Coach Julian now heading back to the dugout. Jack Atkinson, the senior, heading to the first base spot. Meanwhile, Kenny Pridmore coming to the plate. Now batting the first baseman, number 44, Kenny Pridmore. And Pridmore will come to the plate. Now, through all that chaos, (1-0) the count. And the pitch. Swing and a miss there, 1-1. So that was a compelling play at first base. It was a grounder to second. And the throw by Sanders forced Whitman to jump up high to try to gather the ball. And Ayler looked like he had beaten him out by the time Whitman had come back down to earth. And meanwhile, Tornadoes unhappy with that decision. And meanwhile, strikeout there, and then put out goes 2-3. Pridmore did everything in his power to try to leg that one out. And meanwhile, here's Luke Morton. Now batting for Tornadoes, third baseman, number 3, Luke Morton. So Morton will step to the plate. So suddenly, quite a bit of anxiety in the air for an 11-0 ball game. Pitch here, off the plate, ball 1. (11 runs on 11 hits for the Generals. Tornadoes have a runner at third. That's Logan Clark. Luke Morton, your batter. The pitch. High, ball 2. Game time temperature 54 degrees on a cloudy day here in Brevard, North Carolina. Pitch there across the plate. Strike 1. This game was originally scheduled for a 3 p.m. start. Prudent decision to start the game at noon to make sure you beat some incoming weather. And this is blasted to left field. That's going to be an RBI single for Luke Morton to score Logan Clark, and the Tornadoes on the board. 11-1 your score. Now batting for your Tornadoes, the catcher, number 14, Brett Burchett. So Brett Burchett will step to the plate. Tornadoes able to break through, end the shutout bid for Benner. And now an 11-1 deficit. And the pitch. Across the plate there. 0-2. Pitch there off the plate. Fouled back towards our broadcast location, and at bat will continue. On deck for the Tornadoes, Ryan Lehman. One, two, the count, 2 outs, runner at first, and the pitch. Driven to right field. So Tornadoes able to keep this inning going, runners first and second. And that'll bring up Ryan Lehman. Now batting center field, number 31, Ryan Lehman. So Lehman to the plate, runners first and second. Two outs here. Bottom of inning number 4. Fouled back, 0-1. And the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Runners first and second, 2 outs. And the 1-1. Across the plate, strike 2. Both bullpens quiet at the moment. So we've reached the middle innings of this one. Time called. Lehman and Benner will both reset. And the pitch. Off the plate there, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the pitch. Driven to center field. This is going to be another base hit for the Nados. Huckey, the third base coach, sends the runner home, and Luke Morton will plate a run for the Tornadoes. 2 runs this inning now for the Nados. Cut back to a single-digit deficit. And back to the top of the order we go. Now batting for your Tornadoes, right field, number 4, Zach Allison. So that'll bring up Zach Allison. And now a visit to the mound from the Washington and Lee perspective. Your score here, bottom of inning number 4, Washington Lee 11, Brevard 2. So Zach Allison will try to keep this inning going for the Tornadoes. 2 runs so far. Bottom of inning number 4, 11-2 your score. And the pitch. First pitch swinging, Allison, and it's going to be a fielder's choice, 6-4, as Zueta and Sanders able to combine for out number 3. 2 runs on the board for the Tornadoes. We'll head to the top of inning number 5. Generals 11, Tornadoes 2. So new pitcher for the Tornadoes. Welcome to the party, Noah Webb. Left-hander from Sylva, North Carolina, on this President's Day matinee. Tough start for the Tornadoes, trailing 11-0. Bottom of that 4th, able to get 2 runs. First pitch swinging there, leadoff hitter aboard Luke Erdmann. So a runner at first for the Generals. Now batting left fielder number 4, Zach Perkins. That'll bring up Perkins. Batting from the left side. First pitch swings Perkins. That's blasted foul. Oh, 1 the count. Noah Webb. Good looking pitch there. Absolutely fooling Perkins. 0-2 the count. On deck, Bassey. And the pitch. Popped up. And nice play there by the catcher for the Tornadoes, Brett Burchett. So in foul territory, Burchett able to make the play there for out number 1. Now batting the DH number 12, Chapin Bassey. So Bassey will step to the plate, and Noah Webb will go back to work. Freshman lefty. Smoky Mountain High School. Sylvan, North Carolina, not all too far from here. And runner advances there. On the wild pitch. And the pitch. This is jacked about halfway up Savannah Hill, where many Tornado fans are camped out to enjoy this one. Yesterday, we literally saw tents set up on Savannah Hill, where people were not only gathering to watch the game, but really kind of setting up second home for the Sunday afternoon. Drumline was also here, positioned on Savannah Hill, providing mid-inning entertainment from the talented School of Music here at Brevard College. And the pitch. Grounded here to short. And 6-3 on the putout. Nicely done by Jucker at short. Runner advances to third in the process. Now batting number 13, Brian Whitman. So the first baseman, Whitman, will lead off. If you haven't made it out to Gilcone Field, really a great environment to see a baseball game. And like we mentioned, you can just hang out on this beautiful hillside on the left field line. You can bring your four-legged friends and enjoy your dog. And there's even a disc golf course if you want to get a few holes in, perhaps in between games of a doubleheader or post-game. And the 2-0. Fouled back. 2-1. Well, best of luck to the men's and women's basketball teams. They head from the women's perspective to continue their postseason tournament, heading to the quarterfinals. Good-looking pitch there by Webb, meanwhile. And that has ignited the Tornado dugout. Pitch here off the plate, however, 3-2. Men's team will play its first round of the USA South Conference Tournament at Covenant tomorrow, while the women's team heads to Berea, Kentucky to take on Berea. Pitch here This is driven to left field. That's going to score a run for the Generals. Head now 12-2 on the RBI single by Whitman. And that'll bring up the catcher, Jaden Kaner. Now batting the catcher, number 10, Jaden Kaner. Now the women's basketball game on Saturday night versus Maryville. First round action, first ever postseason game for the women's basketball team played at the Boschmer Gymnasium. An absolute electric environment inside the Bosch. People still buzzing from this one. And Tornadoes get the exciting win and able to advance to the quarterfinals. So congratulations and best of luck, head coach Donald Hudson, assistant coach Anna Lee Bollinger, and the Tornadoes women's basketball team and the men's team as well. Best of luck to them tomorrow night under the guidance of head coach Lee Burgess and assistant coach Miles Leathers. Meanwhile, back here at Gilcone Field, grounder to short and 6-4 on the putout on the fielder's choice as Jucker and Blake Burchett combine for out number 3. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Your score, Washington Lee 12, Brevard 2. So Blake Burchett will lead things off for the Tornadoes. Bottom of inning number 5. Tornadoes able to score 2 runs their last time at bat. Pitch there off the plate, ball 1. Washington Lee able to answer with a run in the 5th. Generals have scored in all 5 innings to contribute to their 12 runs. Tornadoes 2 runs, 6 hits. The hot-hitting Blake Burchett to the plate. 3 for 6 day on Sunday, 3 for 4 on Saturday. The pitch outside. Continuing his starting appearance, Washington and Lee starting pitcher John Benner. He's gone 4 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. And the 2-1. High, inside. And Blake Burchett is claiming that that ball hit him in the helmet area, and umpire disagreeing, asking him to come back, continue his at-bat. Assistant coach Rob Julian having a conversation now as well. And we've got some more issues here. And continuing the discussion here. Now the 2 umpires talking to see whether that should have been a hit by pitch or simply a ball. Blake Burchett took off his helmet as if it had gotten hit, even motioned towards his head, and then started to head towards first base. Home plate umpire had different ideas. Meanwhile, the at-bat will continue. 3-1 the count now. And the pitch. Ball 4. So ultimately, Burchett finds his way to first base regardless. Meanwhile, some conversations between the catcher of Washington Lee and the home plate umpire. And here's Jason Jucker. Now batting for your Tornadoes, shortstop number 2, Jason Jucker. So Jucker to the plate with a runner aboard. Bullpen action now for the Generals. We'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, pitch off the mark there, 1-0. Jason Jucker had that game winner yesterday, the walk-off single. Was a D3Baseball.com Player of the Week, a national honor last week. The senior Jason Jucker out of Altamont Springs, Florida, Lake Brantley High School, just outside of Orlando. And Jucker squaring off here against Benner. Pitch there, gets away from Kaner, the catcher of the Generals, and runner at second. Jucker 0 for 2 on the day. Seeing if he can make something happen here. Now with a runner in scoring position, that's Blake Burchett at second. Logan Clark waits on deck. This is a line drive to center. It drops in front of the center fielder, and that's going to be a base hit for Jucker. Wild throw home, ends up being contained there by Kaner. Meanwhile, first and third on the base paths for Logan Clark. Now batting for your Tornadoes, the left fielder, number 15, Logan Clark. 80 pitches now for John Benner, who's allowed 7 hits, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks in his starting appearance. And the Tornadoes, runners first and third for Logan Clark, the exciting sophomore from St. Petersburg, Florida, as that's fouled off. Won the count. And the pitch. Missing there. 1-1. Cale Ayler awaits on deck. No outs here. Bottom of inning number 5. Ayler hits this into center. And runner going, no, held up now as runner started to motion towards home. John Raymond fired that back into the infield, the center fielder for the Generals. So 1 down here for Cale Ayler. Now batting for the Tornadoes, DH number 26, Cale Ayler. So Ayler will come to the plate, hitting from the left side. Runners first and third, 1 out now. Pridmore awaits on deck. And the pitch. Across the plate, strike 1. Time called here as third base coach Steve Huckey coaching up Ayler. Meanwhile, Pridmore awaits on deck. 0-1 the count with 1 out. And the pitch. Cross the plate there. 0-2 to Ayler. Bottom of inning number 5. And the pitch. Swing and a miss there. So down on strikes goes Ayler, and out number 2. That'll bring up Pridmore. Now batting for your Tornadoes, the first baseman, number 44, Kenny Pridmore. So Kenny Pridmore steps to the plate, starting first baseman in this Monday Game 3 of the series. Junior from Hendersonville, North Carolina, East Henderson High School. The pitch, high, ball 1. Benner's pitch count continuing to rise. Now pitch number 87 coming, and that's off the plate. 2-0 the count to Pridmore. If the inning continues, Luke Morton awaits on deck. And the pitch. Across the plate. 2-1 the count. Runners first and third. Feels like we've had that situation for an eternity. Meanwhile, 2-2 the count. See if Pridmore put this ball in play and continue this inning. 2-2 the count, 2 outs. And the pitch. High, ball 3. Full count to Pridmore. And the pitch, swing and a miss there, strike 3. So 2 runners will be stranded for the Tornadoes. We'll head to the top of the 6th with your score. Washington in lead 12, Brevard 2. So we head to the top of inning number 6. 12-2, Washington and Lee on top. Noah Webb continuing his relief appearance. And Ethan Zueta, first pitch swinging to lead off this 6th inning. And traveling a long way there. Great play by Zach Allison in right field. Out number 1. Now batting number 14, Zack Sanders. So that brings up the second baseman, Sanders. You could really see the speed of Zach Allison making that play in right field. Traveled a long way in a short time to get that first out. Meanwhile, hit by pitch there and a runner on board. Now batting the right fielder, number 17, Mike Carpenter. That'll bring up Carpenter. 8-hole hitter. Well, congratulations also to the women's lacrosse team. A big victory over the weekend. They'll be back in action on Wednesday at Ives Lamel Family Field. Check it out, 5 p.m. Brevard College women's lacrosse action on this Wednesday. And then Friday evening, the Tornadoes men's lacrosse team will host Oglethorpe at Ives Lamel Family Field. This is lifted to left field and foul. The ball traveled a long way, but ultimately foul. Logan Clark was on the case. Washington and Lee has scored in every inning, 2 runs in both the first and second, 3 runs in the third, 4 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth. Adds up to their 12 runs. Tornadoes with 2 runs, both of those coming in inning number 4. Grounder here through the left side of the infield and runner on the move. It's going to be runners on the corners, first and third after the single to left through that left side of the infield. And Washington Lee now runners first and third. Now batting center field number 16, John Raymond. And Raymond was announced, but meanwhile, Coach Rob Julian will head to the mound. And looks like it's going to be a pitching change. We'll tell you who the new pitcher will be in just a matter of moments. Your score, 12-2 Generals. So new pitcher for the Tornadoes, Cameron Cook. And Cook will warm up his right arm and get ready to get going here. Top of inning number 6. Cook will be the 4th pitcher thus far for the Tornadoes. Cale Ayler started this game, remained in the game at designated hitter. We saw Bryce Bowers for 2 innings. Noah Webb pitched an inning and a third. That brings us to Cameron Cook. Cook, sophomore right-hander from Mount Holly, North Carolina, Stuart Kramer High School. This will be his 3rd appearance. He's 1-0 on the season. 3 1/3 innings pitched, has yet to allow an earned run, so a perfect ERA, and has allowed just 1 hit, has issued 5 walks, 4 strikeouts. So Cameron Cook being called into action here on this Game 3 of the series. And it'll be a runners in first and third situation that he will inherit with 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Now batting center fielder number 16, John Raymond. Bottom of the order for the Generals. It's the 9-hole hitter, Raymond. And so Cook's first assignment will be John Raymond with runners at first and third, 1 out. Blake Burchett behind him at second, Jason Jucker at short. Pridmore and Morton, the corner infielders for the Tornadoes, and the battery mate for Cook is Brett Burchett, the catcher. Tornadoes defense from left to right, Clark, Lehman, and Allison. Pitch here, driven into left field, and that's going to bring home a run. And runners now first and third again with another run scored. RBI single there for Raymond. Now batting third baseman number 30, Luke Erdmann. That'll bring up Erdmann back to the top of the order. Where's number 30 for the Generals? Erdmann measures at 6'4". The junior from Vienna, Virginia. And he's got a runner's first and third situation for him here against Cook. Pitch from Cook across the plate, strike one. (13-2) now your score. And the pitch. This is driven to right field. Allison camps under it. Runner going, and it's going to be a sacrifice fly RBI for Erdmann for out number 2. Now batting left field number 4, Zach Perkins. That'll bring up Perkins, the left fielder. 2-hole hitter. 14-2 now after the sacrifice fly. Error there on the pickoff attempt at first, so runner advancing to second. So another miscue for the Tornadoes, and runner now in scoring position for the Generals. 14-2. Generals on top. This is lifted to center field, and Lehman able to make the play for out number 3. We will head to the bottom of the 6th. Your score at Gilcone Field, Washington and Lee 14, NATO's 2. So pinch hitter for the Tornadoes is Caleb Allen. So his first appearance, the freshman from Murphy, North Carolina. Meanwhile, Benner's appearance continues. This will be pitch number 94 coming here. And Caleb Allen will go to work. Well disciplined at bat thus far. Now 3-0 the count. Allen listed as a third baseman. So Caleb Allen, the freshman out of Murphy, North Carolina. His first collegiate at-bat, transpiring before our very eyes. 3-2 the count. And the pitch. Allen sharply hit to the third baseman, and that'll be out number 1. Now batting for your Tornadoes, the catcher, number 14, Brett Burchett. So I'll bring up Brett Burchett with one down here. First pitch, a strike to Burchett. Now hitting the triple-digit mark in pitch count. And this will be pitch number 101, which ricochets all the way to the Tornadoes dugout. Brett Burchett, the venerable senior catcher for the Tornadoes. Burchett and Christian Ezel share the catching duties. Ezel had a home run over the weekend, first of the season for the Nados. The pitch. Cross the plate there for strike, so caught him looking. So that'll bring up Ryan Lehman, the Tornadoes center fielder, South Florida product out of Cooper City, Florida. And 0-1 the count as Benner, who's been excellent all day, able to get ahead there. Well, Tornadoes will be back at home March 5th and 6th, 3-game series versus Averett. Hope you can head on out to Gilcone Field for that one. That's after a road trip to Greensboro this coming weekend. Conference play begins on March 18th versus Maryville. And the pitch. This is driven to right field, and that'll be out number 3. So Washington Lee continues to hold its lead at 14-2. So pinch hitting for the Generals to lead off. Bottom of it. Check that top of inning number 7. And this is driven to first, so quick one pitch out there for Cook in the Tornado defense, retiring Larson. Now batting first baseman number 13, Brian Whitman. Pitch here to Whitman, outside, ball 1. This has popped up in the vicinity of Blake Burchett, and he's able to make the play. Now, Burchett had a very active day over there at second base yesterday and able to make that play there. 2 outs. Now batting the catcher, number 10, Jaden Kaner. So Kaner will step to the plate. Hits in the 5-hole. Kaner out of Aldie, Virginia, sophomore. Bats from the right side. First pitch. Strike to Kaner. And the pitch. Good looking pitch there from Cook. 0-2. Tornadoes as strikeout and then wild pitch. So runner advances to first. So a strikeout wild pitch as Kaner able to beat out the throw at first. Meanwhile, ground ball here, and Jucker and Burchett combine for an easy fielder's choice up the middle of the infield to retire Zueta. We'll head to the 7th inning stretch. Washington Lee 14, Brevard 2. So leading things off here, bottom of inning number 7, Zach Allison. Top of the order for the Tornadoes, Allison, Burchett, and Jucker. New pitcher for the Generals, that's Stuart Long, the junior from all the way in Missoula, Montana. So give Long the award for furthest traveled in terms of hometown, as that's blasted foul. So the starting outing for the starting pitcher for the Generals is now complete. John Benner went 6 complete innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 8 strikeouts, and 2 walks. 1-2 the count to Zach Allison. The pitch off the plate there. Zach Allison has had an effective series, 3 for 4 on Saturday, 2 runs scored on Sunday. Lifts this to center field, and that'll be out number 1. So Burchett will step to the plate. Blake Burchett, the cousin of Brett Burchett. As Long continues his relief appearance, second batter he's faced. Blake Burchett, 6 for 10 through the first 2 games of this series. Both Tornado wins, Saturday and Sunday. And the pitch. Across the plate there. 1-2 the count. Fouled away there. So the at-bat will continue. And it's a 2-bagger there. So a double for Blake Burchett. That'll bring up Jason Jucker. Now batting for Tornadoes number 2, Jason Jucker. So Jucker quickly into that batter's box after that Burchett double. See if Heart of the Tornado order can get something going here. Double for Blake Burchett. His first double of the season. And base hit and then a bobble out there in left field. And the run will come home and add a run to the Tornadoes total. Now batting for your Tornadoes left field, number 15, Logan Clark. So RBI single, runner advances to second on the throw. Actually a diving play out there at left field, unable to come up with the play. Meanwhile, this is well struck to right center, and a triple there. And that's a triple for Logan Clark. So Clark, nice piece of hitting there. Tornadoes getting something going here in the bottom of the 7th. Now batting for your Tornadoes, DH number 26, Cale Ayler. So that'll bring up Ayler. And the pitch. Fouled away there, 0-1. So 14-4 now the score after 2 runs here in the bottom of the 7th. Pitch here, swing and a miss, 0-2. So Jucker with the single to left, which scored Blake Burchett. Jucker advanced the second on the throw. And then Clark drove in Jucker with the triple. That brings us to this at-bat, Cale Ayler, starting pitcher in this game, DH throughout. And now an opportunity to try to bring home his teammate Logan Clark, who stands at third base. The pitch. Fouled away there, 0-2. Kenny Pridmore, first baseman for the Tornadoes, awaits on deck. Caleb Allen is in the hole. Pitch there, high. Pitch there, missing. 2-2 the count. Cale Ayler, 1 for 3 on the afternoon. And the pitch. Driven to left field. And that'll be enough to bring home Logan Clark on the sacrifice fly RBI. So 3rd run of the inning for the NATOs. And that'll bring up Kenny Pridmore. Now batting for your Tornadoes, first baseman number 44, Kenny Pridmore. So Pridmore making his debut in a Tornado uniform. And base is now empty with 2 outs. Tornadoes have cut the deficit back to single digits, 14-9. However, running out of time in this one, bottom of the 7th with 2 outs. Pitch there, off the plate. 1-1 the count. Base is empty. The reliever, Stuart Long, on the mound for the Generals. Pitch there, inside. Washington and Lee making the trip from Lexington, Virginia. Little over a 5-hour trip for the Generals, as this is driven into center field, and nice piece of hitting there. Pridmore able to get a base knock there. I'll bring up Caleb Allen. Now batting for your Tornadoes, number 17, third baseman Caleb Allen. Caleb Allen steps to the plate as this is lifted, and that'll be out number 3, pop up second. So to the 8th inning we go. Your score, Washington and Lee 14, Brevard 5. So to the 8th we go. And defensive change for the Tornadoes. Hayden Jennings, freshman from Beaufort, South Carolina, John Paul II High School. And at the plate for the Generals, Zack Sanders. One the count. And Sanders fouls that off as Cameron Cook continues his relief appearance. Cook, so far, in an inning and 2/3, has not allowed a run. 1 hit allowed. Strikeout, no walks. The pitch. And his battery mate, the freshman Hayden Jennings. Another Tornado making his debut in the Tornado Blue. As this is popped up, foul territory and handled there by the first baseman Pridmore, having a nice game himself in his NATO debut. Now batting the right fielder, number 17, Mike Carpenter. I'll bring up Carpenter. First pitch strike to Carpenter. And the 0-1. Swing and a miss there. Good looking pitch from Cook, fooling Carpenter for strike number 2. Well, hope you can join us for some Tornado action later this week here on the campus of Brevard College. Tornadoes lacrosse teams will be going at it. Strikeout there for Cook. Now batting number 16, John Raymond. That'll bring up John Raymond. Tornadoes lacrosse teams will get things started. First, the women's lacrosse team with a matchup on Wednesday. That's a 5 p.m. start time versus Alma College at Ives Lamel Family Field. Then the Tornadoes men's lacrosse team under the lights at Ives Lamel Family Field on Friday night, 7 p.m., when the Tornadoes host Oglethorpe. So hope you can catch some of that action. 2-0 the count. 3-0 now to Raymond. Meanwhile, best of luck once again to the Tornadoes men's and women's basketball teams who continue their trip in the postseason. Tornadoes women's team in quarterfinal action tomorrow evening at Berea in Berea, Kentucky. Men's basketball team first round action at Covenant in Lookout Mountain, Georgia. That's Tuesday night as well. So we'll be keeping an eye on those scores and developments as this is off the plate, ball 4. Now batting number 30, Luke Erdmann. So back to the top of the order we go. Luke Erdmann, junior from Vienna, Virginia. With the runner now at first, 2 outs for Cook and company. The pitch. Across the plate, strike 1. Brevard College softball off to a great start as well. They will be in action on the road this weekend at USC Sumter. That's in Sumter, South Carolina. Exhibition doubleheader begins at 1 o'clock, so if you're able to make the trip down to Sumter, check out the NATO's softball team. Lacrosse will then hit the road at Randolph Women's Lacrosse on Saturday as well, up in Lynchburg, Virginia. And then the Tornadoes baseball team at Greensboro, as this is hammered down the right field line, and runners first and third after that base hit by Erdmann. And the inning will continue for the Generals. Now batting number 4, Zach Perkins. So now runners first and third. Erdmann, after that base hit, a 4-for-5 day, 3 runs scored. Now runners first and third. This is lifted. First pitch swinging was Perkins. Sky high for Lehman out in center field. He's able to make the play for out number 3. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th with your score. Washington and Lee 14, Brevard 5. So Hayden Jennings steps to the plate. He was inserted into this game as catcher. First at bat as a Tornado. First at bat as a collegiate baseball player. Goes with the classic grunge music from the 1990s, Nirvana, as his walk-up song. Pitch there. Off the plate, ball 3. 3-0 the count. New pitcher for Washington Lee. That's Matt Fleming, the left-hander. Out of Houston, Texas, St. John's School. And first at bat, drawing a walk there is Jennings. So Ryan Lehman will come to the plate, the center fielder for the NATO's. Also a freshman out of Cooper City, Florida. Looks like a pinch hitter potentially on deck for the Tornadoes. Jonathan Graves with a bat in his hand. Pitch there, fouled off. 0-2 the count. Runner at first. That's Jennings, able to get on base in his first collegiate at bat. Freshman from Beaufort, South Carolina. Now Raymond trying to keep this inning going. 14-5 your score. Pitch there off the plate. Approaching the 2-hour, 30-minute mark of this one. As this is fouled off. Game started at precisely 12 p.m., high noon here in the mountains. Game 3 of a 3-game series. Which have seen a lot of runs come across the plate. And the pitch. Missing there. 2-2 the count. This is lifted to right field, and that'll be out number 1. And a triple there for Graves, bringing the run home. Great piece of hitting there for Jonathan Graves, ladies and gentlemen. Now batting for your Tornadoes, second baseman number 6, Blake Burchett. So big time piece of hitting there for Graves. And Tornadoes able to plate another run. 14-6 now your score. Graves, that was just his 3rd at bat. The freshman from Gastonia, North Carolina. Now batting for your Tornadoes. Now batting for your Tornadoes, shortstop number 2, Jason Jucker. So that'll bring up Jucker. Graves still the runner at 3rd. 1-0 the count. Pitch gets away there, and that'll score Graves. So Graves, quite the pinch hit appearance. RBI triple, and then scores a run there on the wild pitch. Graves, the freshman from Gastonia. Meanwhile, Jucker at the plate. 2 outs. So Graves now 2 for 3 in his collegiate career. And now has his first collegiate extra base hit and also first RBI of his career. So congratulations, Jonathan Graves. This is grounded to first, and That'll be the end of inning number 8. Looks like a football score on the scoreboard. Generals 14, Tornadoes 7. We'll head to the top of the 9th. Jonathan Graves remains in the game, plays center field. Ryan Lehman shifts from center to right. First pitch lifted to left, and that'll be out number 1. Now batting number 13, Brian Whitman. So fly out to left to open this inning, and (1-0) the count now. And Whitman. Pitch there, across the plate. (1-1) the count. Fouled off there. 1-2 the count. Another defensive change for the Tornadoes. Lucas Granada now playing left field, so he replaces Logan Clark. So Lehman in right, Graves in center, Granada in left. 2-2 the count. It's Cameron Cook continuing his outing. And outmade there. Now batting the catcher, number 10, Jaden Kaner. (14-7), 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. Washington Lee has led from the get-go in this one. Swing and a miss there. John Benner, starting pitcher for Washington Lee, went 6 innings, 2 runs allowed, 7 hits, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks. Tornadoes have used 4 pitchers. Cameron Cook in his 4th inning of work. He has not allowed a run. He's been outstanding. Just 2 hits allowed, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. Kel Ayler, designated hitter as well, started this game for the Nados. We also saw Bryce Bowers and Noah Webb in relief for the Nados. Three players have 2-hit games on the offensive end for the Nados: Blake Burchett, Kenny Pridmore, and Jason Jucker. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of inning number 9, game 3 of this series. And the pitch. Hit by pitch. So taking the base there will be Kaner. And that'll bring up Zueta. Now batting number 7, Ethan Zueta. Zueta, the sophomore out of Matthews, North Carolina. Weddington High School. And the pitch. Just missing there, 2-0. Well, great to have members of the Brevard College women's soccer program here in attendance. Saw associate head coach Juan Mascaro Jr. making his way around the yard earlier. Strike there, 2-1 the count. Great turnout of athletes supporting athletes throughout the busy weekend. Boshamer Gymnasium absolutely rocking for a women's basketball playoff game. Two the count. So ruled a strike there because the umpire determined that Zueta was intentionally trying to draw the hit by pitch. Sun has suddenly come out here at Gilcone Field. And meanwhile, great looking pitch there by Cook to strike out Zueta. Cook, 3 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 0 runs, and now 3 strikeouts. Great job, Cameron Cook. We'll head to the bottom of the 9th. A lot of work for the Tornadoes if they want to pull off a miracle here in the bottom of the 9th. 14-7. Generals on top. So Lucas Granada will lead things off for the Tornadoes here, bottom of inning number 9, the freshman from Wake Forest, North Carolina, Heritage High School. Lucas inserted into the game before the last half inning, and he will face off against Evan Blair. We've seen this reliever all weekend long, and Blair's assignment right now, protect a 7-run lead. Meanwhile, Granada with Lee Parker on deck. So Granada going to work here. This will be his second collegiate at-bat, Granada. Swing and a miss there. (14-7) your score. There's been a combined 28 runs. Or check that, 28 hits, 21 runs. A lot of football numbers as they're bouncing through your head. And out number 1 there, that'll bring up Lee Parker. Pinch hitting for your Tornadoes, number 25, Lee Parker. So Lee Parker with his first collegiate at-bat, and he blasts this out of play. Ball traveled a long way towards the Frank Patton track. And Lee Parker, the freshman from Greenville, North Carolina, Farmville Central High School. East side of the state, Greenville, North Carolina. Oh, 1 the count. The pitch. Outside. 1-1. And the 1-1. Cross the plate there. 1-2. And the pitch. Off the plate, 2-2. So Lee Parker with 1 out here, bottom of number 9, and swing and a miss there. He'll be retired on the foul tip. So Kenny Pridmore will step to the plate. Pridmore had a nice game at the plate so far. In his first collegiate start, 2 for 4. Got the start at first base and has delivered at the plate. Pitch there off the mark. 1-1 the count. Pridmore, junior from Hendersonville. Pitch there. Sliced down the right field line, and that's going to be caught for out number 3, and Washington Lee's able to take the 14-7 victory. So the Tornadoes unable to complete the sweep, however, take 2 of the 3 games over the Washington and Lee Generals. Washington Lee takes game 3 of the series 14-7. The Generals 14 runs on 16 hits, no errors. Brevard 7 runs, 12 hits, 3 errors. Washington and Lee jumped on top 2-0 in the first, added 2 more runs in the second, 3 runs in the third, extended their lead even further with 4 runs in the fourth. Tornadoes with 2 runs in the fourth, 3 in the seventh, and 2 runs in the eighth. Individually, the NATOs led at the plate by Blake Burchett, Jason Jucker, and Kenny Pridmore, all of whom had 2-hit days. Logan Clark scored 2 runs, had a triple RBI. And Cameron Cook looked really good on the mound. He pitched the final 3 2/3 innings, did not allow a run, 2 hits, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. And Washington Lee, their pitching performance, their starter, John Benner, 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 runs, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks. And big day at the plate for Luke Erdmann. He went 4 of 5. Whitman went 3 of 6. Kaner went 2 of 5. 3-run scores for Erdmann. 3 runs scored for both Erdmann and Sanders. So the Tornadoes will regroup and then get back to action this weekend as they take on Greensboro College on the road. That's a 3-game series that begins 2 o'clock on Saturday. So if you're in the area, check out Tornadoes at Greensboro. And then the Tornadoes will be back at home on Saturday, March the 5th, right here at Gilcone Field versus Averett. Want to help all those who helped behind the scenes. Abby Pardee, Joseph Marvin, Emma Gooch, Stephanie Johnson, Juan Mascaro Jr., a cast of thousands here at Brevard College. And want to thank you, the listener, for tuning in for this edition of Brevard College Baseball. It's been a lot of fun this weekend, all sorts of activity around NATO Nation. Best of luck to the men's and women's basketball team who continue their mission in the postseason with USA South Conference games tomorrow, and hope to see you at lacrosse this week as the women's lacrosse team plays at 5 p.m. at Islamel Family Field on Wednesday, and then the men's lacrosse team on Friday. Your final score for the final time here at Gilcone Field, Game 3 of this 3-game series. Tornadoes take 2 of the 3 games. Washington Lee 14, Brevard 7. Have a very pleasant rest of your President's Day afternoon. Go Tornadoes.